What's going on, everyone? Chris from PickDogs.com here on Monday, January 6th, 2025, with your morning show. I've got Costi with me. Money Making Monday off of the last week of the NFL regular season. For me, yesterday, it was a bloodbath. It was one of those things where I just now I'm sitting back, hindsight being 2020, and just like, dude, what are you doing betting the last week of the NFL regular season? But you know what? Move forward to the playoffs. Got some decent playoff matchups. Costi, how you doing?
Doing good. Finally wrapped up the NFL regular season. There was some very uneventful games yesterday. I was somewhat unplugged, I think, because you're so in the grind the first 17 weeks, and then the last week of the season were a lot of my contests. Like I was out of the circa, so like I didn't care about those picks. I mean, it's still I gave out a very small sample size compared to my normal. My betting groups only gave me 3 total plays for the day. Went 2 and 1. I mean, it's not anything to jump up and down and go crazy over, but still, it's this is what happens. You could still find opportunities, but in my opinion, this past week was college basketball heavy. I had one of my best college basketball weeks of the season, and I feel like now that we're getting into January and February and March, where we have the data, it just gets easy. In my opinion, it gets easier and easier.
Yeah, definitely. Now that we're starting to wind down a little bit, and there's not as much to dissect. Don't get me wrong. There's still big games we have to dissect for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, but the weight doesn't feel as heavy when you're trying to look through these games. But
yeah, I love this time of the year where you're not focused directly on the weekends like you are early in the season for NFL and college football, and really only have 2 opportunities to get the volume that you want down. As a volume bettor myself, that's really the only importance, is the more the volume, the better. Now you get it 7 days a week, primarily because you have NBA and college basketball. So before you know it, man, it's going to be March Madness, and you're going to be saying, man, how did it go so fast? But it's wintertime. That's why I'm home. We had our first snow storm of the year, so I'm locked down here at the house. I wouldn't say I'm locked down, but doing it from home and not the regular studio. But excited to kick off the board today, and let's make some money.
yeah, absolutely. And for anybody asking, Jay's just a little bit under the weather. Apparently, I didn't know. I didn't understand if he said meat sweats. I gathered meat sweats, but it could also be a combination of the Cowboys yesterday and making him sick. But from what I know, he's all right. Just a little bit under the weather. Be back fresh as a daisy. I tried doing the intro, and it didn't work.
You want me to do it?
You can do it if you want. It didn't work for me.
Yo, what's up, you boys and girls?
Yeah, didn't work for you either.
One more time. I get it. All right, Mulligan.
Okay.
Yo, what's up with your boys and girls? Yeah. Hey, K Diddy here, coming and bringing you another day of wonderful matchups. Now, Jay's under the weather, and listen, man, in this business, if your voice isn't there, there's not much you could do except post the selections and winners. So if you guys are, unfortunately, there's not going to be a jam session, but if you're looking for Jay's picks, they're still going to be posted on pickdogs.com. So going over, purchase his plays for today, but I'm fairly certain tomorrow he'll be back with the jam session.
Yeah. Trust me, I know there's no worse feeling when you're sick than when you just wanting to be normal and back to it. So he'll be back. We'll have to try to just plug along business as usual without him today. We got smaller cards, so we talk about that. We got winners and losers from the weekend. Not everything's changed, even though Jay's missing a Monday. So we'll break that down. Let's see if there's anything else that happened this weekend before we get into winners and losers.
We had the bowl games.
Meh.
Is that a meh? Wasn't too exciting
Meh.
for you?
I just, it's, my thoughts on the bowl games. I mean, it's the transfer portal. It's good for some, but it's like It's horrible for us as bettors when we're trying to cap some of these bowl games. It's not like, what, 5 years ago even, where all you had was, if you're opting out, you opted out, and that's fine. You prepared for the bowl games. But, you know, if you transferred out, you at least knew that you were going to miss a year or something like that, or you had to wait through the off season. Now it's just people are just hitting the portal just for the hell of it. And it just makes it tough. Then you got to try to figure out what coaches are going to let their guys play that are in the portal, which guys aren't. It's just, yeah.
Yeah. So last year we had the same conversation, and I had a horrendous bowl season. And I feel like I wasn't as prepared, and I was really, really going into this year, and I'm going to be much more prepared with the transfers, with the opt-outs, not as much as reading the line, but more so about understanding who's playing, who's not, and the backups that are playing could be just as serviceable. And I went into it extremely confident this year, and I had a really good output. So I'm happy that I made the adjustment and I put in the homework. And that's what I always say to anybody that's betting sports. Like, if you're going to put in the homework, put in the homework. If you're just doing it for entertainment and you have an opinion and you're spending 5-10 minutes a day, it's not going to work long term. You might have little streaks here and there, but when it comes down to doing this as a passive income, just like if you're trading crypto or trading stocks, you're not just doing it on Monday and Tuesday, you're doing it 7 days a week with the sports market. So really dial in, do your homework, trust your gut, and regardless if you're on a losing streak or winning streak, commit to it and don't deviate from that.
Yeah, I think that's key for sure. Someone was asking, we break down North Dakota State, Montana State. I can take a look at it. I'll have it broken down at some point in this game, in the show. FCS National Championship. So I'll take a look at it. But we'll start with what we normally start with on Monday. Winners and losers. Costi, do you want to go first on this one?
Yeah, I'm gonna do, instead of doing it from the weekend, now that we've wrapped up an entire season, I'm gonna do winners and losers from the season. Losers, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't believe they should have changed quarterbacks. I believe they should have stayed with Fields. I think they have a better element, more of a rushing presence as a quarterback, and that's a dual threat. It would have caused defenses a lot more problems. They switched to Russell Wilson. I think that was a terrible move. And what happened was the strength of schedule picked up and they started losing games. And no matter what anybody says, Justin Fields came out there in the first quarter of the season and dominated. I'm not saying statistically, but he was winning games and he was a threat back there. Russell Wilson, I've been saying this for years. He was a Pete Carroll system quarterback, and he's not that good of a quarterback. He's too short. He's not Drew Brees. Like, if you're going to be that short, you have to have the talent like Drew Brees had, and he's not Drew Brees. And you saw that time after time after time, where you take away a couple of his threats like Pickens, a couple of those games, the whole offense is inept. So losers, Pittsburgh Steelers. Now you got to come back to Baltimore, 9.5-point spread, and try to actually do something. Man, you guys are going to get your ass whooped if you're going to bring out that product you brought out for the last month, which I don't expect anything different. But no other better way for us as a Baltimore Ravens fan, not even talking about lines here, straight up to face the Steelers in a wild card at home. I mean, you can't give us a better gift, man. So losers, Pittsburgh Steelers, front office making that dumb decision, putting Russell Wilson in there after Fields was serviceable.
I can't help but feel like there is some fan bias in that winners and losers selection.
I'm usually not. I mean, I have plenty more. That was just number one. That was
number
the
one.
top of the list. That was the top of the list for me.
All right. Well, fan bias for me too, because my first loser for the week is going to be a winner from yesterday. the New England Patriots. You had one job. And I understand that no team is going to openly say they're going to tank. And, I know it's a division rival. You want your chance to beat Buffalo. But it's a nothing game for you to – what's winning? It's going to get you to 4 wins. You're still going to fire Gerard Mayo. But what does it do? It takes you from first overall, having at least some, semblance of controlling your own destiny, picking who you want to pick, trying to find something to, build on your future. If you think Drake May is your quarterback, you can at least trade the top pick and get something for it. But instead, you decide to go out and win that game against the Buffalo Bills, and now you slide to 4th. So instead of getting Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward, or Travis Hunter, you're slated to get Teteroa McMillan, which I'm not knocking Teteroa McMillan, but when you look at the other 3 prospects that are ahead of him, I don't know, I'd rather have Shedeur Sanders over Teteroa McMillan, Cam Ward over Teteroa McMillan, Travis Hunter over Teteroa McMillan. So we'll see if the Patriots try to move back up and try to get one of those 3 guys. I'm thinking that they're still committed to Drake May going forward. But that was just,
I've been saying this for a while, Chris. The players don't tank. The coaches can tank.
But that's exactly it. I agree with you.
They don't care about the first round or first or second pick in the draft.
No,
they care
I agree
about producing, so they get paid. So
hard. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I'm not saying they do, and I'm not saying they were going to. And I said no teams openly going to admit they're going to tank, but that's up to the coaching staff. And if it's from the front office saying, hey, we want to make sure that we get a good draft pick, play this smart. But it is what it is.
It's fair.
Someone say, would you rather have Shedeur over Drake May? I don't know. But you know what? That's the thing, is that we don't know. And even if you didn't want Shedeur over Drake May, you could take Travis Hunter. So, it's hindsight being 2020, but that's just my take on it. So, loser of the week, New England Patriots. Costa, you got another one?
Oh yeah, I've been waiting probably 2 months for this one. Loser of the season, Jets, Jets. Another one of them. I have a buddy of mine who's a very, very religious Jets fan. And every week he sends me which teams he wants to win and the Jets to lose, so he gets a better draft pick, and it never works out for him. And what did the Jets do? They come out and they pull the best game of the season, scoring 32 points, beating up on a division foe. All you have to do is keep losing. You suck. Your defense sucks. You brought in all these weapons for Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers did not do anything within a mile of what his expectations were. And then you go out and you win the last game, and now you're getting a worse draft pick, and you're not sure if Rodgers is going to come back, because are you going to bring him back? Does he even want to come back there? You fired Robert Saleh, who was a defensive mastermind coming from San Francisco, and your defense completely was horrible. They were horrible all year. They really didn't lose that many players from last year, and the scheme was bad. They were just getting run all over all season. Offensively, you have Devontae Adams that all of a sudden went from the Raiders and still had talent to coming here and look like he was just an average, like now he's an Odell Beckham, a good version of Odell Beckham at the later stages of his career. Garrett Wilson wasn't used enough. Breece Hall coming into the year was supposed to be a 10 touchdown running back and 1,200 rushing yards. That wasn't him. Just complete disaster again for the New York Jets. So front office, you made a mistake again, and now you're going back into the draft trying to find another piece that's going to put you in the same place as you were in the last 5 years. So, man, some of these teams, man, can't get out of their own way, and they just make these stupid decisions, and they're just worse. So, losers of the season, And on my do not bet list, New York Jets.
Yeah, one of my losers from the season, Cincinnati Bengals. The defense just never did its part to be able to hold up. And I get it. Injuries played a part early in the season where, you were trying to figure out when you were going to see a healthy T. Higgins. You always wondered if it was going to be a healthy Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, whatever. But then you had a defense that was still one of the worst in the NFL in the regular season. They just couldn't get stops when they need to. I can't tell you how many times I saw this Cincinnati Bengals team give up 30, 35 points in a game. I mean, they did it. Did they do it twice against the Ravens? They give up 35 in Baltimore and 41 at home.
Yeah.
Scored 34 and 38 in both, but I mean, you look at just sort of where this team was defensively the entire season, 29th in scoring defense, 29th in total defense, 25th against the rush and against the pass. There's only so much that your offense can do. And that's why they fired the defensive coordinator today. So, it didn't work for Cincinnati. And then, you made the effort. You made the fake comeback. And then, oh, yeah, Bo Nix remembered who he was. I don't care if it was against the Chiefs backups. I like the Broncos. I like this team.
They held Kansas City under 100 total yards. It was really like one of those games where going into it, I said, if Carson Wentz can keep it like relatively close, he might get a job next year. And it couldn't have been any farther from that. I mean, I get it. He's not playing with starters. It's completely different. Denver has everything to play for. Kansas City has nothing to play for, but wasn't a good showing by Carson Wentz.
Yeah, the Carson Wentz legacy game did not happen, unfortunately.
But now this week is loaded, man. I'm very excited about a couple games. I mean, the fact that the Vikings are a 5 seed is just sickening. That somebody has to play them in the first round.
Yeah, so subtle foreshadowing. That was going to be my next loser.
The Vikings
was the Minnesota Vikings, and not because I'm. Don't get me wrong. Go back to Costy in a sec, but don't get me wrong. The Vikings are still a solid team, but to have that performance with your not your season on the line, but a lot of stuff at stake, and you get into the red zone 4 times and don't score a touchdown. It was rough. And it's giving me pause about Sam Darnold in the playoffs for the Minnesota Vikings.
I don't know. Watching the game, I'm a game watcher. So I've played football all the way through high school. Was a linebacker, so I see the game, right? I was able to retain a lot of that information, and over the last 25 years of doing this, be able to really dig deep and understand the nuances of the game. It wasn't on Sam Darnold yesterday. What it was a lack of offensive line protection. He had no time back there. For all the praise that I give Kevin O'Connell this entire year, he called a horrible game plan against Detroit. The receivers weren't getting open. A lot of times nobody was open. So Sam Darnold's throwing in really, really tight corners, and just the play call was terrible. Whether it was they couldn't establish a solid run game because Aaron Jones got banged up early in the game. You can't tell me Detroit, a team that's decimated on defense, basically they shut down Justin Jefferson. They shut down Addison. They shut down Hawkinson. I mean, these are 3 Pro Bowl-ish, all 3 could potentially be Pro Bowlers any given year. And they just looked completely outcoached in that game. And then the fact is they come in with a really good run defense, and they could not stop the pressure from Detroit offensive line is the best in the league by far. I mean, maybe the Eagles are a close second, but outside of that, Detroit just moves you. And Gibbs was flying through the holes and not even getting touched. Not taking anything away from Gibbs, but it was a home game. They had everything to play for. The last thing Detroit wanted to do was, after being the 1 seed for months, to then have to go on the road and not have home field advantage. It just wasn't even close. And I had the game script honestly wrong. I expected a lot of passing touchdowns. I expected it to be back and forth. And with those red zone missed opportunities, you could see the writing on the wall. And I could hear Mitch saying to me, game's over. This is like the second quarter. Like, he could already, that's exactly what I said to myself. I said, it's over. They're not changing any. There's no second half adjustments. You could just see the writing on the wall. This is a Detroit game. And
well, I mean, Detroit did hold up their end of the bargain. I mean, they
ran the ball. They ran their offense. They played good
towards the over that I thought was going to happen last night. I thought it was going to be a track. But I mean, like I said, the difference is, red zone efficiency. 4 trips to the red zone, the Vikings got nothing. Jahmyr Gibbs, 3 trips to the red zone, 3 touchdowns. I'm kidding. Obviously, it's the Detroit Lions, but seriously, it is what it is. Now the Lions get the 1 seed. They get the chance to rest up and get healthy. I'm just trying to figure out if Riverboat Dan is going to get burned at some point.
Yeah, there wasn't much. There's no riverboating last night.
There wasn't. He took a more cautious, not a cautious approach, but a more conservative approach, I guess we'll use. Only went for it four times on 4th down. Only 4 times, but no onside kicks. Didn't have the chance. Koss, you got any more winners and losers for the week before we move on?
Not as much. I wanted to do more of a seasonal approach. Let's see.
You can.
Go. There's so many of them out there. We'll go with I would even say a winner. Atlanta Falcons. I think you made I'll give them praise to make that switch when they did, when they were still in contention. Bringing Penix in, that was not his fault. That was not on him. He's getting better and better week to week. But to make that change, knowing you have a quarterback on your roster that you paid a lot of money to, and you're potentially going to get into the playoffs, and the fact that you bench him for a guy that's never played a snap in the NFL, rookie, and this rookie has handled himself extremely well. You could see he's getting better and better as the weeks are going on. He was able to find in critical situations, he was able to find Drake London all over the field, timing plays. He was able to control that offense and not get, they were down most of the game. Even when they went to overtime, it was always the Panthers were up and then they would tie him up. The Panthers were up and then he would come back and tie it up. So Atlanta defense couldn't hold up. And, obviously I do believe Tampa Bay is the better team that got into the playoffs, so they got it right. But the fact is that Penix is going to be a really good option for them going forward into next year when they could build more around him. So shout out to the organization that made the change, which most teams don't do. Most teams don't bench your multi-million dollar quarterback that you brought in this year. You're still in first place of the division, and you go ahead and you bring in a rookie, and to take that much, have the resources and to make that jump was pretty immense. So shout out to the Atlanta organization. Even though you didn't make the playoffs, I think you rebuild that defense. You have a lot of good years going ahead.
Well, no team does that except the New York Giants.
Yeah,
pay a quarterback.
Drew Lock. Yeah. Bring in Drew Lock.
Yeah, you pay a quarterback $160 million, and then you cut.
But at least they weren't good. I've never seen it where the teams. It's not the injury; it's just bad play. But you're still in first place. He just had a couple bad games, and for them to make that switch was pretty pretty impressive.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah, I think that's it.
That's it. All right. Well, everybody's not here to just stare at our pretty faces. I mean, except, well, they're maybe here to stare at yours. Mine is, they're just here for my voice. But, okay, never mind. You got a little bit too close. The high definition's not doing anyone any favor.
HD.
HD for KD.
HD for KD.
All right. We'll move on. We got college basketball today. We got NBA. We got NHL. I'll get the NHL out of the way and also get this college football matchup, the FCS National Championship. For someone who's asking, I'm going to go with the over, and I lean towards Montana State. Montana State was just the best team in the country when it came to red zone opportunities. I mean, now that we're talking about red zone opportunities from the NFL, Montana State was the best in the country. 52 touchdowns and 63 trips to the red zone in a game where I think that there is going to be a bunch of scoring opportunities. It's going to be a track meet up and down the field with two of the best quarterbacks, if not the two best quarterbacks in the FCS, and Cam Miller for North Dakota State, Tommy Mellott for Montana State. Yeah, I think this is going to be a higher scoring game, even for a national championship where maybe you expect there to be more cautious approach. Maybe you expect there to be more of a, not wanting to be the first team to blink mentality. I don't think these teams are going to let that happen. These are two teams that can light it up, even though they are both solid on both ends of both sides of the ball. So I'm going to go with the over and a lean towards Montana State. I think it's still at 3. That's probably where I'd limit it at. Probably where I'd go to. So, Kossi, I assume you got nothing in the FCS championship.
No, I don't. No, never got any information on it. I don't even dig deep into the non-important conference here. I could care less.
Yeah.
I guess people want to bet, but it's not on my radar.
Trust me, my word is not gospel. I'm just saying that's where I would look for this game. Not going to make a premium list or anything, so just take that for what it is. But that's where I'd look. I'd look at the over and lean towards Montana State. I could see, if it's going to push, I could see, if it's still, I think it's still 58 and a half. I could honestly see 31-28. But we'll get the NHL out of the way because actually, Costi promised he would have a pick.
Yeah, think about it. Every time.
All right, so the 4 NHL games that we got on the board today. We've got, actually, hold on, let me just put the timestamp in for that just in case someone is watching. We got the Washington Capitals and the Buffalo Sabres. We got the Canucks and the Canadiens, Panthers and Avalanche, and the Devils and the Kraken. Costi, what do you got?
What do you do on Mondays when you get back to work? You smoke some what?
Oh, boy.
Smoke some Kraken. Plus 200 at home. I mean, the Devils lost 4 in a row now. I love a good home dog, especially plus money. It's kind of like when I go into, now that Chris made this commitment to me, I've been doing a lot of homework with NHL because I need to see this twirl in Vegas. So, home dogs in the NHL always will make you money, even if you go 500 year round. So with my twirl pick of the day, I'm going to take the Kraken plus the 200.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with Montreal. Plus money. Home dog. Maybe not, the plus 200 that the Kraken are getting. But Vancouver, they played their better hockey on the road all season long. The problem is that right now they're inconsistent. In Montreal, take it from a Leafs fan. Look over my shoulder. You can see a little Leafs banner. I do not praise the Montreal Canadiens lightly. I hate the Montreal Canadiens, but they're 10-7-2 at home. They've won 7 of their last 10. They're coming off a profitable 6-game road trip They went 4-2, and the 2 games that they lost were probably the most winnable of the 6 games that they played. They lost to Columbus on the road and Chicago on the road. But look at the teams they beat: Florida, Tampa Bay, Vegas, Colorado. They're playing some good hockey right now. And even going back home, the last 2 games they played at home, going back before the Christmas break, they played Detroit and Buffalo and won those games by a combined score of 11-2. So Montreal's just playing the better hockey right now. And getting them as a home dog, I think, is a decent place to be. I'm going to take Montreal. Plus 105. You can get even money plus 105, but that's where I'm looking at this one. All right. Let's see. Is there anything else on the card that I like? I'm going to keep fading the Buffalo Sabres. Give me Washington. They play solid on the road. Buffalo was just ass. 7-10-3 at home this season at Buffalo. They've gone back to their losing ways. I get it. They go back home now, but I'm really not investing anything in this Buffalo Sabres team. I'm taking Washington in that one. All right. Do you want to do college hoops first or NBA?
Yeah, we do college hoops.
College hoops?
It's a smaller card, then we can
go. It is.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's whoo boy. You gotta understand that when on these small college hoops cards, if I'm locked in on something, I lock in. And that's the thing, is that I've locked in on a few games today that I really like. See how that pans out. But you gotta be able to sift through it on days where you're talking about the SWAC and the MEAC and everything like that. So if you want to know my thoughts on Panthers Avalanche, the wrap round is up. If you want more in-depth thoughts on some of those games. But we'll go to college hoops. Where's my college hoops page? There we go. We got at 4:30. I'm guessing they moved it up because of the weather. I don't know if Delaware's going to get hit.
No, they got hit.
Oh, did they? Okay.
It's right next to us. Yeah.
I saw Maryland Eastern Shore got postponed against Howard. Norfolk State, Delaware State. You got the Abe Simpsons of Arkansas Pine Bluff against Alabama State. South Florida against Wichita State. Wisconsin Rutgers. We got the Vaqueros of UT Rio Grande Valley against Southeastern Louisiana. Houston Christian against Stephen F. Austin. Nichols against East Texas A&M. I just want to say East Texas A&M Commerce, but East Texas A&M. McNeese and Northwestern State. Texas A&M Corpus Christi and New Orleans. We got the Delta Devils of Mississippi Valley State catching 17 against Alabama A&M. South Carolina State against Coppin State. Incarnate Word Up against Lamar.
MVP.
Fighting Odoms. I know Jay calls them the Jacksons, but I go with the Fighting Odoms. Southern Prairie View A&M. Grambling, Texas Southern, and the 2 best games of the night. Houston against Texas Christian, and the Ohio State Buckeyes heading on the road to take on the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Cost you like anything here?
Yeah, like I said in my video, strategy play is to take Rutgers when it's a Big Ten matchup within conference. The fact that you can get points at home, a team that is 7-0 at home, which is Rutgers. Wisconsin is 0-2 on the road. This is a trap spot. I feel like a lot of people are going to be betting Wisconsin just because of what they've done lately. But in reality, I think Rutgers has the better player pound for pound than most people in the country. And I think them getting points at home, catching points, just take them on the small money line plus 105. And then the other one, I'm gonna roll with Houston as well. I don't care about the points. Houston is head and shoulders better than TCU. They're going to blow this team out. Just a different style of ball. Again, Houston is undefeated at home. TCU hasn't won a road game yet. And this is just one of those games where the the difference of caliber of coaching and talent is going to be shown. There's a reason why they're 19-point favorites. I think they win this game by 20 plus easily.
Yeah, that's my problem with Rutgers is that they always have the best player on the floor and Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper. But wait, do I have that right? I think so. I can't remember. I mix names up all the time. But yeah, Rutgers always has the two best players on the floor. Problem is, it never works out because everyone else on Rutgers is just a big step down from where they've been. But I could see the path. For me, I'm gonna go with the under in South Carolina State, Coppin State. It's just an ugly matchup, but Coppin State's offense is dreadful. I am not buying into this team after winning 2 of their last 3 games. And if you look at their home games this season, all 4 of their home games have seen totals that have finished at 128 and under. So I think it's going to be a low-scoring slugfest. I could see the first to 65 wins that game. So give me the under in Coppin State, South Carolina State. I'm still going to take Lamar against Incarnate Word. I just think Lamar's the better team, and Lamar's playing just a much better
player. Yeah, too. Better player.
Incarnate Word. I don't know.
Do you know the record? It doesn't matter today, but when Lamar plays, when the Baltimore Ravens play, they're undefeated. So if you can catch Lamar when the other Lamar plays on the same day,
oh my God, it's one of those.
No sweat bet. No sweat bet. It's one of those things you don't even overcomplicate. There's no strategy. There's no analytics. It's just
Lamar parlay.
Lamar parlay.
Yeah.
Sometimes things you can't actually explain.
Yeah, you can't quantify it. I think that's the word they use. So I like USF plus the points against Wichita State. To me, that just that's on 8.5. That's on 8.5 point game. That's a 4 to 6 point game. I can't get to this number. We've seen Wichita State go 2-3 in their last 5 games, and only 1 win against a Division I team. The other 3 losses, DePaul by 19 points at DePaul. Yeah, okay, but DePaul 91-72. They lost that game. Lost at Temple, who hadn't been playing well. Lost at Temple 91-85, and then a loss at home against Kansas City, the Fighting Roos. Kansas City comes in, beats them in their own gym, 74-64, with Wichita State laying 13.5. South Florida is not a great team, but they are not a bad team, and I think they can do enough to keep this one within the number. They covered at Loyola Chicago, losing by 2. They beat Wright State on the road earlier this year. I know those teams aren't necessarily Wichita State's caliber, especially at Wichita State, which historically has been a tough place to go on the road and win, but I think that USF can get the job done there. Actually, yeah. So give me USF and the points in that one. All right, move on to NBA. Got 6 games in the crank for the NBA. We'll go 2-2-2. We'll go with the Phoenix Suns and the Philadelphia 76ers and the Portland Trailblazers and Detroit Pistons. Costi?
Suns and the Sixers. These are 2 of the spots that I hate the worst. Betting on the Suns on the road and betting on Philly at home. The Suns have been on this losing streak, so I'm not touching them with a 10-foot pole. And then Philly's got so many injuries. They have been playing better of late. I'm going to take a complete Ruffalo on this game. I hate to do it on a small card. If anything, I'll probably give a lean to the 76ers at home. I just don't trust Phoenix, and it's not enough points for me to ride them. Maybe if it was like 5.5, I would lean Phoenix, but 3.5, even with the question mark of all the injuries for the 76ers. I take it back. No Ruffalo. I'll take the 76ers laying the 3.5.
There we go. You came to your senses.
And the other one as well?
If you want to. Blazers, Pistons.
Did we go 2 and 2 and 2?
Yeah, we're just going 2 and 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna another one, similar situation to the previous game. Portland on the road, I don't bet, and Detroit laying points at home, I don't bet. And I just don't like either one, but I have to lean toward Detroit. I know there's the quick revenge game here that Detroit beat them in Portland in overtime. Oh, sorry, no, they haven't played yet this year. So it's first game. Detroit is good. They're a good home team. They're 500 at home, but not as a favorite. So I'm not gonna lay big numbers on this game. If anything, small lean to Detroit.
Yeah, I will. I'll answer. We'll answer this question in a little bit because we got a little bit of filler to have, but we'll talk about that before we get to the parlays. But yeah, I'm not touching that Pistons Trailblazers game.
You got to touch it.
I'd rather not.
You got to touch it.
Costa, you don't have to touch everything that's there, okay?
Yeah. There's only 6 games on the card. You got to touch it.
Yeah, I'm going to touch other ones. That's what she said. The problem is the Pistons are 1-5 against the spread as a home favorite. The Blazers just haven't been able to cut it on the road. I don't want any I don't want any part of the Blazers and Pistons game. I will take the Sixers against the Suns. I'm trying to see if Joel Embiid is playing.
It's real questionable right now. He's going to go to shoot around, and then they're going to figure it out. Typical day-to-day.
Typical Joel Embiid action. Yeah, so I'm probably still going to bet the Sixers because they still have Tyrese Maxey. They've still got Paul George. I don't see them popping up on the injury report. And it's just the fate of the Suns, who are still the worst ATS team in the NBA this season. You know, they're 11 and 22 overall this season against the number. You know, when they're catching points on the road, 3 and 7 against the number. Yeah, no, thank you. Give me the Sixers here. I think they beat up on the Suns. We got the where is it here? Indiana Pacers and the Brooklyn Nets, and the Orlando Magic and the New York Knicks. I'm up first in this one. I'm going to take the Knicks. I liked it a lot better when it was at 10 and 11. 12.5 is a little bit tougher to get there, but I can't back the Magic in their current form. They're trying to win too many games with defense right now while they're waiting to get healthy. I mean, we talked about it yesterday where, they're playing like 1990 style basketball. It was not yesterday yesterday because they lost to the Jazz yesterday. Yeah, I lost to the Jazz yesterday at home. But like, look at some of these games they played. 105-92 they lost. Beat the Raptors 106-97 on the road. Lost to Detroit 105-96. Beat Brooklyn 102-101, 89-88, 105. You see the patterns. Just like they're trying to win too many games with defense. And don't get me wrong, when they get healthy, the Magic will be a team that we back against, especially at home. But on the road against Knicks team that more often than not, as of late, has been putting the boots to the teams at home that they've been playing. Coming off a loss, I think New York finds a way to get it done here, win this game by margin. Like I said, I don't love that it's gone up to 12.5 now, but I'll probably back the Knicks here and see what their record is off the loss this season. 6-5 against the spread off a loss, so not terrible. And the other one, Nets and the Pacers. I don't love it. Maybe lean towards the Pacers and the over. 10.5 is a lot for a Brooklyn team that still is trying to be feisty as an underdog, especially at home. But they've been less effective at home. They just got crushed by the Sixers by 29 points. And The Pacers are actually starting to play some decent ball on the road, back-to-back road wins over the Heat and the Celtics. So, yeah, give me the Pacers laying the points and lean towards the over. Costi?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Knicks as well. Just Orlando. This is just not the spot for Orlando. Orlando's most of their spots are at home. And the Knicks, when they're double-digit favorites at home, have been just demolishing teams. And usually you'd be scared to do that, but this Knicks team has figured it out. I mean, getting rid of Julius Randle and putting in Cat has definitely improved them drastically. I mean, now they're just a very, very competitive team. I don't know how that's going to translate to the playoffs, but the Magic are just, they don't have the firepower at home. They at least have that added element to just play much better. And that's the spot for me. I know it's a double revenge game for Orlando here, but still not buying it. I'll go with the New York Knicks. And then the other one, I'm going to take the Nets at home. I know they're banged up. I know there's a ton of guys on that injury report, but this is another one of those. I'm not laying 10.5 with the Pacers. They don't even have a winning record on the home, let alone 10.5. I'm not buying it. The Nets, as bad as they are, they're still 19-15 against the spread. And doesn't matter who's out there. They're one of those teams this year that play spoiler and they win games they're not supposed to win. Not saying they're going to win this game outright, but home dog 10.5. Again, I don't love this one, but I'm not going to lay the points with the Pacers here. So Nets for me at home.
Yeah, other thing to keep in mind, the Nets as a double-digit favorite this season. 6-2-1 against the spread, and when you just isolate it to a double-digit home favorite, they are 5-0-1 against the number. So, just food for thought.
Right. Thank you for that stat. Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this with them all year. I mean, there's a reason why they cover. They get these inflated lines, and especially at home, it doesn't even matter who's on the court. Still NBA players, only 15 guys on the roster. People take that, like people say, oh, the starters are out. Well, the backups are pretty damn good in the NBA. It's not like college football. It's not like college basketball. NBA's backups are very, very good. So don't overthink it. 10.5 points. Nets for me.
No, I was sorry. I was talking about the Knicks.
Oh, but the Nets are as well. Look it up.
The Nets as a double-digit home underdog. Nets is a double-digit home underdog here. Double-digit home dog. The Nets have been a double-digit home dog twice this season, and they're 0-2 against the spread. Lost by 29 to Cleveland, 25 to Boston. So two of the best in the NBA. It's all about in what regard you hold the Pacers. Let me check the injury report. See if I'm trying to see if I can find out news on Cam Thomas and Cam Johnson. Trying to see if we can get you guys the most up-to-date information, because this is a tricky one. So I'm seeing that Cam Thomas is expected to be out until at least the 21st of this month. Cam Johnson at least expected to be out till the 10th. D'Angelo Russell and Ben Simmons are game time decisions. So I would probably assume they're not playing.
Yeah, with the spread being what it is, I'm not expecting them to play.
All right. In our last two NBA games of the day, we got what am I doing, dude? We got 9 games. What am I doing?
Yeah, I know. That's what I was looking at.
Sorry, I thought we had 6 for some reason. I don't know why my mind went like that.
Sorry.
Okay, so move on. Sorry. We still got plenty more NBA to go. Bucks and the Raptors and the Spurs and the I should say your Chicago
Bulls.
I can't do it like Jay does. There's a lot of things I can't do like Jay does. So yeah, Bucks, Raptors, Spurs, Bulls. Costi.
I'm on the Seattle Supersonics here, catching points at home. I mean, this spot for me this year has been just gold. As a home underdog, they're 11-4-1 against the spread. Just as a home team, they're 12-6 against the spread. Obviously, most of the time they are getting points, but Bucks on the road laying a big number like this, I don't like it. I'll take the 7 at home with the Raptors, aka the Seattle Supersonics. And then in the other one, I'm going to lean towards San Antonio. Chicago is just terrible at home. Feel like Wemby can get off here. It's only 3 points. No injuries on San Antonio. Really, it's heads up against each other. No real clear injuries in this one. I don't know. I don't like this one. I definitely like the Raptors better, but I'm going to take the Spurs here, laying the 3. Just to fade the Bulls, which I love doing.
Yeah, I am gonna have to take the Spurs as well. I think I'm just concerned with too many defensive issues with the Chicago Bulls at home, where they play their worst basketball for whatever reason. They're 6-11 at home, 10-8 on the road. The Spurs aren't much better. They're 6-9 on the road, 18-17 overall. The Bulls have won 5 straight meetings, but I think it's a revenge spot for San Antonio going into Chicago after Chicago beat them in their own building by 15 points about a month ago. So I'll take San Antonio. I like the direction San Antonio's headed in. And I will also take the Raptors game's tough. It's like, nah, it's not. Give me the Raptors and the points.
Yeah, just play the spot here. I mean, they're
the
11.
Problem is that the Raptors. The problem with the Raptors is that they dig themselves into a hole against the better teams, and then they have to try to dig themselves out of it, and it's too late. Like, look what they did. Like, look at the last 6 games.
Yeah, but the Bucks on the road, just heads up, aren't even that good.
No, I get it.
You got to go through customs.
Trust me, I know that process. Trust me.
They pat you down.
Now you get the snap of the rubber.
Some of these players may have something of. They might not even get through customs. You never know nowadays. Not calling any names. I'm just saying, you cross country lines. No, I'm just kidding. But that whole process is extended, and nobody wants to go up there in the cold and play in Toronto. Not that Milwaukee's any warmer nowadays, but just the travel, getting through customs, it's just a show. And we've seen this time and time again. And that's why Toronto's not a good home team, because the team sucks, but they're covering. They're covering because the inflated lines over and over and over again. I just don't see the Bucks covering 7 on the road.
It's trending in their direction, 7.5 now. So we'll see. All right, last time slot of the day, we got the Dallas Mavericks and the Memphis Grizzlies. We got the Los Angeles Clippers and the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Miami Heat and the Sacramento Kings. I think it says something that the Memphis Hustle are favored by 5 points against the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, no Kyrie, no Luka for Dallas, obviously, but for the Memphis Grizzlies, no John Morant. No, oh boy, let me pull up the list here because it's going to take me a while to get through it. No Luke Kennard, no Santi Aldama, no Yuki Kawamura, no John Morant, Marcus Smart, Vince Williams Jr., Gigi Jackson, and now Desmond Bane is listed as doubtful. So the Memphis Grizzlies are being held together by duct tape, and they're still favored by 5 against Dallas. Boy. So give me the Grizzlies in that one, the hustle, whatever we're gonna call them today. But I'm also gonna take the Clippers plus 2.5 against Minnesota. I'm just returning the keys for the house of disappointment. There's better spots to back them. This isn't the one where you do it. 4-11 against the spread as a home favorite this season. Just not a good look. The Clippers trying to get healthy. They finally got Kawhi Leonard back into the fold. I know it's going to take them a little bit to get going, but the morale boost that gives the Clippers, someone they've been waiting to have in the lineup, back in the fold. Yeah, sign me up. Give me the Clippers there plus the 2.5, 3 points wherever you get it at. Also, going back to that Memphis game, Memphis still league best 10-2 against the spread after a loss this season. So give me the hustle. Costi?
Yeah, I'm on the Memphis hustle as well here. This team is just plays such good ball at home. And they have a deep enough team here that they can get over the injuries. I mean, they just play really, really good team ball. And I know it's 5, but this is just not the spot for Dallas, in my opinion. I like them as a road favorite. I don't like them a lot of times as a road dog. So I'm going to take the Memphis hustle. The next one, I'm going to lean Clippers. The house of disappointment has been proving its name over and over again. 3 losses in a row, 2 of which were on the road here. They did play a really good game against Boston. I watched that game wire to wire. I mean, I do see some promise here, but the Clippers, I think right now, this part of the season, they're a better team, and getting Kawhi back is only going to, like you said, boost morale there for them. So don't love that one. I could see either one winning. I'm probably definitely staying away from it altogether, but lean to the Clippers. And then the last one, this one I'm going to take a Ruffalo. Sacramento laying points at home as a home favorite. I hate the spot for them, but they've been playing really good ball 4 in a row. Miami is real tricky, though. Miami on the road can go out there and get the job done. They went to Orlando and to Houston over the last 14 days and won 2 of the toughest places to win in this league, and then go back home and lose to the Pacers and the Jazz. So this is just one of those games I'd rather just not touch altogether because it can go either way. These are the spots usually that Miami does win, but the Kings have been hot, man, and I wouldn't lay the 4, but I wouldn't be shocked if they beat up on this game is 50-50 to me. That's why I'm making a case for either one. I'm just going to take a complete Ruffalo in this one.
All right. Before we get into parlays, let's do a quick, run back. Someone had a question. Where is it?
How did the Ruffalo?
The origin of the Ruffalo. The origin of the Ruffalo. Whenever we say we want to take a Ruffalo, it was on me. It's my bad. It was the Hawaii Bowl in like 2020. I want to say 2020. No, 2019. I think it was the early iterations of the morning show. And it was the only game on the card. I came on. I didn't love the game. I was trying to just tell everybody my thoughts, kind of like how if we have one game on the board, I know people show up for picks, and I fully understand that, but I don't want to give out a pick for the sake of giving out a pick. So I just said I'm just going to take a pass on the game, and then no, this was what was explained on Christmas, but someone was asking about it. Yeah, I just had taken a pass in the game. Mitch's exact words, well, then why are you here? And I said, oh, I guess I don't know. And thus, the Ruffalo was born. It's actually in the Betting Hall of Fame now.
It is.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's the lore of the Ruffalo.
And also, a lot of the guys that are commenting, you guys weren't in the show earlier. Jay is under the weather, and he has no voice. The jam session should be back tomorrow. But if you're just looking for his games, he's still going to post his games on pickdogs.com under premium picks. So if you're looking for his games, unfortunately, no jam session, but you can purchase his games if you choose to do that.
I always thought about if my voice went out, what I would do if I had to do like the wraparound or like the home run video or something like that. I thought about it. I'd probably just play the wraparound song just on back, like on loop, and just put my text on the screen. I thought about that.
Or like have like somebody talking for you, reading a piece of paper like a letter.
Or a bad kung fu dub.
Have somebody's like,
Or
today,
it's just like I asked
today in the Devils Penguins matchup, like you just wrote it all out.
like you just see Jay's face and it's like that the bad where the lips come in. Hello.
No, it's like, with what's his name? He passed away. He was in the wheelchair, but he was like
Stephen Hawking.
Stephen Hawking, where he was just like type, or he couldn't even type.
Hello.
That's what he,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh boy. This we went from such a high talking about the origins of Ruffalo, something so genuine and so wholesome, to now talking shit about Stephen
That's
Hawking.
the Russian Stephen Hawking. Hello.
Where's my borscht?
I could do this entire show and speak in Russian. That'd be fun, giving game predictions.
And if you do that, I will type out subtitles for you. Can you imagine that might be one of our highest viewed shows if it just goes like hell off the rails.
Я знаю, что Ravens будет играть this weekend. I couldn't even remember how to say this weekend.
So what Kosty just said is the Ravens are going to have an early exit from the playoffs this week.
Hey, relax.
Did I not get that right?
Relax. Just relax over there.
Okay. Do you want to try one more?
What's that?
Try one more. Try something else in Russian. I want to see if my Russian is as sharp as it.
Ты знаешь, что я говорю.
Let's see if we can do a subtitle for you. Hey, my Russian's still good.
It's real funny. real funny.
Thought it was pretty good. All right, Kosty, let everybody know about what's going on with Sharp Trading, please.
Well, this is the height of the season. Dime Club and Sharp Trading is specifically for our bigger players that want a one-on-one consultant. I deal with clients every single day, one-on-one. You get all the groups plays, overnight releases, halftime plays. We have a money line parlay program that we just launched that we hooked up with a group. So if you're a bigger player and you want to take your betting to the next level and do something more long-term, definitely shoot me a text. My number is posted all over Pick Dogs, but you can find it easily under Premium Picks, Insider Plays. It's my cell phone number posted right underneath my video.
Absolutely. And for me today, I got plenty of plays over Pick Dogs. I have a couple more plays I'm going to put in for long-term members, so can definitely check that out. Got a $15 college hoops play of the day that I absolutely love today. We smashed it in back-to-back days. Two combined winners by a combined 95 points with Kansas and Villanova. Really like today's play as well. I'm locked in on it. Locked in on the college hoops card today in general and NBA. So make sure you jump on something today. I also got a 5-pack from the NBA and college hoops, and I got an NBA play of the day. Like I said, long term is the way to go, especially with the loaded cards that we have this entire week. Great college hoops cards today and tomorrow, and even Wednesday as well. NBA throughout the week. We're going to have the college football playoffs Thursday and Friday, NHL, you name it. This is the best time to hop on, and you can pair me up with any of the other great handicappers at the website as part of the 2-for-1 capper promotion. Get the most bang for your buck. We're going to make some money. I have a feeling that January is going to be very good. So
What about a 3-for-1 promotion?
3 for 1.
You can do
You
that
can
too.
do 2 for 1, 3 for 1, 4 for 1. I don't know what the most you can go up
So
to.
it's kind of like a capper threesome. Kind of.
Anyways, I'm not even going to try to think of who that would be.
If you want a threesome, pair your favorite handicappers.
Jeez. On that note, Kossi just got us canceled. And again, the third time this NBA season. Let me see something here real quick. The next time that Kossi will get us canceled is later this month on January 29th. If you know, you know.
What do you mean? We got it all.
No. The spot where you got us
have it
canceled.
all.
I'm not saying that Denver and New York are playing on January 29th. I'm not saying that at all. Jeez.
Well, could be my last show today. It was nice. It was nice that you guys were all here. I appreciate each and every one of you.
New show, new channel at that point. It's not even going to be the same channel. All right.
Wait a minute. What did you say before? Oh, I got it now. It took me a minute. The
Yes.
The Knicks and
Are you trying to hold on? There you go. Okay.
I slowed down. I'm good. Only the true fans understand what I went through in that week.
I think that might be an all-timer too.
Oh man.
And you want to know those bits like that were why Mitch always said we were going to try to act more professional tomorrow, because it just does not happen.
Yeah, that was bad. And my face, I went like this. Like it just
I'm gonna try to clip that and just see if I can just get a picture of Kosti's face when he realized what he said. Oh, God. All right, Kosti, it's about that time.
All right.
Parlay.
I'm gonna go a all college parlay. We're gonna take Minnesota on the money line, Rutgers on the money line, and Mississippi Valley State. Not on the money line, spread. So 2 dog money lines and Mississippi Valley State.
All right, this is gonna be my sugar mama parlay. It's ugly, but it's gonna get you paid. We're gonna go with the under in Coppin State and South Carolina State. We're gonna go with USF plus the points. The Washington Capitals on the money line, and the Montreal Canadiens plus money. If Eric walks in your door right now, I'm gonna die.
There's no shot. That if he does, then we have problems. We have problems. Not walking in. I promise you,
he comes in with those heat sensor colored snow goggles and just like a.
I mean, this is the day for you to wear them. I mean, it's snowing outside.
Does he have snow tires on his bike?
That'd be funny. So somebody gave me this gift for Christmas. This looks like funny, right? Oh, this is cute.
Someone made a stuffy that looks like you. It's got a
diaper. Print. This is what it's the Oxycontin 80 milligram tablet.
Oh my God.
what they used to give to doctors' offices because it was non-addictive, guys. It was non-addictive. I got this for Christmas from a friend that thought it was fun.
Wow, that's so cool. It looks like you, though. It's like you wearing a diaper. I couldn't just let you get off scot-free. Come on now.
Man.
Anything else to say before we sign off?
Money making Monday. The guy said you got a perk for Christmas. That was good, man.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Oh man.
Money making Monday. That'd be fun Christmas.
At least I didn't get cold.
This is true. Well, you might have.
So I bring this back. I open it because I didn't know what this was. It was just sent to my house. I open it, and my dog thinks it's a dog toy.
Oh fuck!
Like, this is not.
What breed is Luca?
What's that? He's a mini golden doodle.
Still, they'll still fuck that up.
Like, in what world do they think this was a good promotion to get people to purchase these things? In what
At least it was given to you and it didn't end up on a shelf at Walmart.
Trey, this is not a 60. This is an 80. 80.
Can you imagine? It's like Percy the Talking Perk. It's like a squishy. Oh my goodness.
I bet you he paid $200 for this on eBay. I guarantee. I haven't even looked it up.
eBay? That's Temu. That's Temu.
It's not Temu. Temu would not make something like this.
Of course they would.
For all these new for ages 14 and up.
Only Costi would get his plushy perks. Perk-a-plush. You've gone off the rails at the end, and it's all because of your perk squishy. Better bring it with you to the office.
I've got to bring it to the office.
Yeah. I want to see it. I want to see it in your background. I want to see it right underneath the Lamar jersey.
Keep it on my shoulder. The devil on your shoulder.
It's the perks of being Costi.
That was good.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. I appreciate each and every one of you. I know it's not always the chipperest of shows, and Joy brings a lot to the shows, and he'll be back sooner rather than later for sure. But we're still going to show up every single day. We're going to get you guys on some winners. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. An hour and 12 minutes. I appreciate Costi for coming on with me, so I didn't have to do it alone. Lord knows that would have been.
Thank God. I might do it at home more often because Eric can't barge it.
Or you'll go home for lunch, or you'll go home for the call, and then go back.
Something. But
I'm telling you, I am begging him to just poke his head in the door.
He's not here.
That makes me sad.
Not here.
I guess we'll just have to get our fix the other ways.
Yep. Don't worry. You keep asking for it. Eventually, he's going to be back. Then
So what's the difference between a pro versus a Joe?
A pro is someone that is simply wagering on sports to make money. It's an alternate form of investing. Instead of the stock market, instead of crypto, instead of commodities, it just happens to be sports. They're betting on a number, not a team. A Joe is usually a fan or someone that enjoys spending their weekend wagering, especially on college football and pro football, and is not really interested in playing every small market such as NHL, tennis, golf. That's the difference between a pro and a Joe.
And one.
Okay, I'm sorry. I still have to point this out every time that we play this video. The power stance from Pathy at the beginning.
It's always the power stance.
So what's the difference between a pro versus a Joe?
A pro is someone that is simply wagering on sports.
Good Lord. That man could sell snow to an Eskimo. All right. Probably talk his ear off too, but
Minimum phone call. If you call Eric Pathy is 1 hour. So if you have an hour to spend, just block out an hour, guys. Block it out.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate everyone. Hopefully Jay be back tomorrow. We're going to keep in touch with him, but just going to let him take his time coming back. Lord knows we all burn the candle at both ends with how hectic of a schedule we have now. So, but trust me, you'll still get the picks one way or another. I promise you guys that. All right. That it? Costi, anything else?
That's it, man. Money making Monday.
Money making Monday. Thank you guys again for tuning in. We'll see you guys soon. Remember, best bets, pick dogs, premium. Check out Costi and Sharp Trading Plays. And we'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning, same time, same channel. Peace.